you don't chop the garlic, you just take it and then you rub it on the bread. So the garlic goes straight in the bread, and that will make it a lot more flavorful, a lot more tasty. What we've done is chop the tomatoes, okay, and put the amount that I gave you of olive oil, salt and pepper, and balsamic vinegar. This is all you do. When I do have fresh basil, I just chop some basil and put it on top of the bruschetta. But this is what the bruschetta is going to be. You can see Leah doing it, and you can follow along. I then have already chopped up the onions for the risotto and put the 2 tablespoons of butter. You see, this is already sauteed. So we sauteed the onions with the butter in the pan. It has to be like a not so tall pan because the risotto needs to be spread out. Just for you to know, what risotto is this particular type of rice that you find pretty much everywhere. Like this one, I buy it at Myers. It's called arborio, and it is a particular rice that cooks slowly with just a little bit of liquid. So you don't want to do like we do in America, where we just put the water, we boil it, and then we put the risotto or the rice. This needs to cook in the pan a little bit at a time, and Leah will show you that. So this is what the method is for a risotto, is that you cook it with a little bit of liquid a little bit of the time. What we also have is porcini mushrooms. As you see, these are dry, but as I said in the recipe, soak them in 1 cup of water, so that they open up and they become soft. And don't toss the water, you might need it for the risotto. And then I have made 5 cups of bouillon. I buy the Knorr because it's a very good brand. And I already have the bouillon made. And then little by little, Leah will now saute the rice, the mushrooms, and add the liquid little by little for about half an hour or so until it cooks. Back to the bruschetta. So Leah is gonna now cut it in about, 3 to 4 inches pieces. I don't know if you see them, but here you go. And then she's going to put the tomato mixture on top, and that's gonna go down into the bread and make very good. You don't wanna make this too early because you don't want the bread to be very soaky. You still want the bread to be crunchy but soft inside. And so just make it about half an hour to an hour before your guests arrive or before you wanna eat it. There you go. Perfect, Leah. Excellent. So that's what we're going to do. So I do see that there's a question. This looks good. I'm getting so hungry. Me too. Me too, Rita. Okay, so let me go to the risotto because I don't know how much time I have here and I don't want to, cut myself short. So like I said, we sauteed the onion with the butter. Usually Italians use olive oil, but for this particular dish, you really do want to use butter. So there you go. Now I'm going to turn the gas on, medium low. I'm going to add, let me see if I can turn this like that. I'm going to add the riso, and I'm gonna stir it. It needs to mix with the onion. Okay, for just a couple of seconds. There you go. All right, so sorry, my filming crew wasn't here today, wasn't available. Neither was my hair and makeup crew, by the way. I'm sure you've noticed that. So here it goes. And now I'm going to add the mushroom. Take the liquid off just a little bit, right? The mushrooms, if there's big dry pieces, you want to cut them up. I don't usually put a lot of mushrooms. It's really up to you, but if you like it very mushroomy, porcini have a pretty strong taste, then go ahead and use more. Okay, thank you, Leah. So do you want to show how pretty the bruschetta is? So I'm gonna stir the mushroom for a little bit. Thank you, Leah. You see, we're just gonna let it go for a little bit. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Here's the bruschetta, and here's your best appetizer. Of course, in the summer, the tomatoes are really, really tasty, and so that's when we usually do it. But in any case, we like that. It's healthy and fresh. So you can hear this going. So I am going to let it just soak a little bit, because like I said, the key is not to have the riso swim, like we say in Italian, in the broth. You just want it to be a little bit, see, just a little bit. Perfect. And now I'm gonna let Leah take over, because all you need to do is just take one ladle at the time, right, of your broth, which you already have warm, right? Turned down. The broth needs to be very warm. And Leah, you wanna get my laptop up and show? You see, all you want is this much liquid in it. And now we're just gonna wait for it to absorb. As soon as this has absorbed, we're gonna add more, okay? Yes, it does take this kind of labor if you want, but it's really well worth it. Maybe you can have somebody do this for you, like my daughter. She's for hire. She's a chef for hire. Okay, very well. So this is what arborio rice is. I think I've shown you everything. We're gonna let it cook about half an hour. I will show you what it looks like when it's cooked. Once it's cooked, all you want to do is plate it and put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. Arborio rice, just like the pasta, is like what we call a primo, the first course. So you want to be generous. What I usually serve it with a piece of salmon, I serve it with a piece of chicken, or sometimes I just serve it with a salad. So it's up to you, but it's a pretty healthy meal. You don't have to cook a lot more with it. So while Leah is doing that, I am gonna jump to the tiramisu, simply because I don't wanna run out of time. So the tiramisu, again, is also a very simple recipe from my family. We just need eggs. Make sure you split them between egg white and red, sugar, mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone cheese, you find it also on Myers, for example, or Trader Joe's or other stores. I buy this one. All you need is this much for one recipe, is 8 ounces, right? 225 grams, more or less. Mascarpone cheese is very creamy. It has a very delicate taste, not as much as cream cheese. I know that some people use cream cheese for the tiramisu, but that's a big no. You need mascarpone, and it's really easy to find. So what we have already done is, beat the egg white, right? Yeah, beat the egg white so they're already stiff. What I'm gonna do now is beat the yolk with the sugar, okay? That is gonna go on first, then I'm gonna add the whipped cream, and then I'm going to add the mascarpone. So I'm gonna just turn this off maybe for a second, the volume off, while I make the big noise, okay? I wanted to do this in front of you, so please be patient while I turn this off so you are not bothered by the noise.
if anyone has a question, feel free to unmute and you can ask Gabriella and Leah.
This is Patty, and Gabriella, I missed what you said about why mascarpone can never be substituted for cream cheese. I understand it's not authentic, but how did you describe mascarpone that it had to be?
Mascarpone patty has a great consistency, very creamy, but not much taste. And
I thought it was sweeter than cream cheese. That's what I thought. No.
Ooh, is it sweeter to you?
You can make it sweet, but I think it's a better vessel for flavor than cream cheese is.
Yeah, cream cheese to me takes a little bit of cream cheese taste. Mascarpone will not. It gives the tiramisu or the cream that we're gonna make a really good consistency. So that's why we don't use one. And two, cream cheese is really not an Italian cheese, right? So this is, so we don't have cream cheese. We didn't used to have cream cheese. We use the cheeses that we made in Italy, which is mascarpone. So there's also, that's why it's more of an authentic recipe. You make it the way you want, but then I can't guarantee the taste, Patty, if you make it with cream cheese.
Or you could try and let us know how it is with cream cheese.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I am going to jump to, you see how the risotto is coming really nicely and how it's taking the color. Okay, I'm going to jump to the tiramisu, if you don't mind, so that you can see what we've done. So I have mixed the egg and the sugar very well. The one thing you want to make sure is that your sugar has been mixed completely with the yellow, right? Otherwise, it will have that granular feel and you don't want that. I've also whipped the whipping cream a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely whipped, but a little bit, you want it a little bit stiff. Okay, so I'm gonna mix now the whipping cream into the egg and sugar mixture. I'm gonna mix it again with my mixer. Sorry about the noise. You see the cream now is starting to get consistent, right? And more creamier, which is what you want. Now I'm going to add the mascarpone. You just put the mascarpone in there, the whole thing. It's kind of, it can be a little stiff, you see, but then you're gonna mix it. Thank you, Leah. So there's that. There's that. And then I'm going to have to use the electric mixer again.
We could probably hear Leah talk while the mixer's going. It's not very loud.
Yeah.
Leah, I have a question. It's Ellen. How do you know when when you've added enough of the bouillon to the risotto? Like, what should the texture of it be when you know that it's done?
I have kind of sort of like worked this out that 1 cup of risotto is 5 cups of bouillon.
Okay,
So this is what I gave you in that recipe. Pretty much that's what it is.
okay.
But I will let you, like I said, we will see the consistency, but pretty much that's it, right?
Yeah, you'll know when it's right.
Yeah. Oh, no, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And if it's soft enough.
So here's how my dad found out. Wouldn't know, right? Because that was
Yeah.
like my dad's job to do the risotto because my mom was too busy doing that. But you take 1 granule of rice and you bite it and see if there's a little tiny speck of white in the middle. That tells you that it's al dente. It has to be very
Ah,
so that it's not too soft. What you don't want is a soggy risotto, which might
right.
happen the first couple of times, Ellen. But you'll see. You'll see. Don't
I
worry.
like that. I like that tip from your dad. That's what I'm going to try.
My dad did it would just
Al
bite it.
dente is to the tooth in Italian.
Ah, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Pasta has to be just hard enough to when you bite it, you don't have to see the non-cooked pasta in the middle, which is usually white.
Mm-hmm.
Just a tiny bit. So this is
Okay.
how we do it, but I will show you the consistency. For the tiramisu now, all I'm doing is adding the egg white, which really needs to be stiff. We beat it a little bit earlier so that it would be ready for this cooking demo, but it has to be stiff. It's not gonna be stiff, which is not the best, but it's gonna be good in any case. So you put the egg white in there and you mix the whole thing. All right, so I think you can see, it's very creamy, very stiff. It barely sticks to it and it's not liquid. And this is what you want, something that is not liquid because this is what you need for your tiramisu. So I'm gonna leave this here. This is done, right? You have the egg yolk, the sugar, the mascarpone, the whipped cream, and finally you add the egg white. Now, what have I done? I prepared 2, and I gave you the recipe, espresso coffee because you really need the espresso coffee. Trust me, it's not gonna be very coffee tasty, but it does need the espresso coffee. So let me know if you need tips, but I usually use, where did I put the Il Caffè? I use Il Caffè, which is what Italians, Il Caffè is this one, which is what Italians drink. It's very good quality coffee, but
Exclusively.
not exclusively, but it's good. Well, let's just say that's the one that we drink in this family. But you can buy Lavazza or any kind of espresso beans, it's okay. Then you make your coffee maker, you make 2, right? And then you add the Marsala, you like the coffee cool down, and then you add the Marsala wine. Marsala wine is sort of like an Italian Porto. So it's old, it's sweetened, and it really gives some dessert a very good taste. It doesn't have much alcohol, unlike the limoncello. It doesn't have much alcohol, so, but can you do it without it? Absolutely. Do I recommend it? No. So there's that. Okay, so what do I do? The other great ingredients you need is savoiardi. Savoiardi is this finger, what are they called? I don't know. Lady fingers cookies. Lady finger cookies. This is just a brand that I found, but it really is savoiardi you also find anywhere. You see, the savoiardi are special because they really are great for dunking, right? So this is what you want. Okay. So I have my cream. I have my cookies. I have my coffee with the marsala in there. And now I'm just gonna really layer this dessert. That's all you need to do, right? And remember, it's what we call a semi-freddo. So it needs to be in the refrigerator because it's really good served cold. And so you can prepare it the night before. Usually that's what I do because it's better, right? It tastes better. So here's my cream. I'm going to, thank you, Greg. I'm going to put a layer of cream. This is the type of pan that I have. It's a really simple pan. I like glass pan because then you can see the layering of the cookie. It's really pretty. And you can put a little bit on the bottom. So it's your first layer. And then you just put, thank you, take the cookie, really lightly dunk it really quickly, like this. And then you start putting it in the pan. You don't want to leave it in there too long because otherwise it'll get soft, right? And you just start layering in your pan. And so this is what we do. And while I do this, are there any questions? This is a good moment to ask questions.
I would just like to say that you outshine Giada and Jade by a long shot.
Nina, you are so sweet. Well, really? Well, maybe I should just change career. What do you guys all think? Become a chef. So just put them in there. You don't need to worry too much because in any case, it's going to be all covered by the cream. So the cookie really doesn't matter what it looks like. There you go. You see, I'm just gonna stick a little bit more in there just to have them. And I usually just do 2 layers. And this is the quantity that I use for the 2 layers. Okay, there you go. So now I'm gonna go and do another layer of cream. And this second time, you wanna be generous, okay? You really wanna be generous because this is, you know, the cream is really important in this dessert. So I'm just gonna be generous and just leave enough for the second part. Okay, here's your tiramisu. Okay, there you go. You see the cookies are covered. And now I am going to start again, layer them. What I'm gonna do now, this time, I'm gonna start from this side because did you notice how this side I put the broken cookies? So I'm gonna start doing this from this side and do this. There I go. And then I'm just gonna do another layer. Right, Leah?
Right.
Any tips?
No.
No tips here, pretty simple. Just gonna do a nice layer of this. Then what you do is put the cream on top. And then as I'll show you, I put a little layer of cocoa powder. Just a dust of cocoa powder. Do you wanna open that, Rag? Because it will give it that little bit of chocolate and color on top. You don't have to if you don't like chocolate. I don't know anybody that doesn't like chocolate, but just in case. There we go, I'm almost done. Don't worry about if you know, they touch each other because this is just what it's all about, okay? Okay, I'm gonna take one and cut it in half. And there you go. The tiramisu, if you can see, is done, right? Now you have 2 layers. And now I'm just gonna put the whole remaining cream on top. There we go. Spread it around. so that it's covered completely. The cookies are covered, the cream is on top, sort of like, you know, there you go. There you go. Done with that. And then, like I said, no, I need the little one, Greg. The little one.
The sifter?
Yeah, right here, sifter. Thank you. I just use this chocolate. You use whatever brand you like. I just take a little teaspoon, put it in the little sifter, and then go around and sift it over. But if you have a better methodology, you go ahead and do what you might have a tool that does that, but this is what I usually do. I just go around with a teaspoon of chocolate, cocoa powder. I cover it so that it's all nicely covered, pretty much, right? And the powder is really soft. And
Gabriella, this is Maureen. Have you ever decorated that? I'm thinking like you could take cookie cutters and sprinkle like red or green sugar on top to make it festive for the holidays.
well, that could be
Yeah.
another nice idea. No, I have never done that, but Maureen, absolutely. So of course you'll have some cookies left over. It doesn't matter because I always dunk them in my cappuccino, or you can do something else with them. But here's your tiramisu. Do you see it? Oh, okay, now you see it. Here's the tiramisu. Here's how it looks from the side. You're gonna cover this and it's gonna go straight in the refrigerator, okay? I'm gonna show you how the risotto's coming along. Okay, the risotto so is almost done. Are you done with that?
Liquid's gone.
When the liquid is gone? Okay, let's taste it, Leah. If it's not, we're gonna taste the risotto, okay? I like it a little bit, just a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is use a little bit of the water that where I soaked the mushroom, which is still very good, just a tiny bit, and then it will be done. And I'm sorry that you cannot taste it. It can be plated, and then, like I said, you just sprinkle a little bit of, we'll plate it actually, and then show the, I can have some. And the beautiful thing about this recipe, like I said, is that it can be vegetarian. You can buy the vegan butter, and you can buy the vegetable broth like we did today. Today we use vegetable broth because Leah is gonna eat it and she's not, she's a vegan, okay? So you can do that, it's up to you.
Leah, what brand of vegan butter do you like to use in this recipe? Do you have a certain brand you prefer?
Oh, you know what? Where is it? Let's see. Balance.
Okay, yep,
Yeah, I think it's like coconut oil based.
okay.
Yeah, good question. We're done,
Thanks.
we're done. So let me just put it,
I'm gonna turn it off.
sure. Here's how it looks. I don't know if Ellen, you're able to see the consistency.
Yeah, I can see it.
You see how it looks solid. It doesn't look mushy. It doesn't look gooey.
Right,
It has to be, you know, the rice grain still has to be
And it's like form still.
in its form. Thank you.
you're right, yep, I
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Because Greg is gonna eat this one, we're gonna put a little bit of Parmesan on top. It's not mandatory. There's a lot of Italians that don't put Parmesan on risotto, so it really is up to you. But you see, and this is done. Okay, so we are done with the bruschetta, we are done with the risotto, we're done with the tiramisu.
Yeah.
All we need to do is our limoncello. Okay, so let me clean up a little bit because again, my crew wasn't available today. So as I gave you the recipe,
Oh, I think also we should note that for the bruschetta, you also can top it with fresh basil. And then I like parsley on my risotto.
You do what?
Parsley.
Okay, yeah.
Good way
Mhm.
to add some color and extra vitamins.
Yes, you can do that. That's for sure. Okay. Let me check and see. Are there questions? This is okay. With cream cheese, it turns out heavy like a frosting. Nicole. Thank you. That's what it is, right? It's too heavy. On the other hand, if you see the cream of the, it's really, really, I'm sorry, you can't taste it, but look how creamy it is, right? With the mascarpone, it's not heavy at all. The mascarpone fluffs us up while the cream cheese doesn't. Thank you, Nicole. That's a good point. Okay. So, oh, here's my limoncello. Okay. So the limoncello is important. Leah, can you get me a lemon outside? What I want to give you a couple of tips is here's the lemon, the peel that has been soaking in Everclear. I found it in Michigan and it's a 151 proof, and that's good. There's a liter of Everclear, and there are 10 lemons. The one thing that I need to stress is that your lemon has to be organic, because it's going to sit in the liquid, and so you don't want any chemicals on your peel. So buy organic lemons. I buy them at Trader Joe's. You'll find them everywhere, right? Whole Foods, Leah, where else?
Everywhere.
I have to tell you, this is a recipe also that comes from my family, and Leah and I, and before also my other kids got together to do this because it's a really fun thing to do. You have to have 2 dates. The first day where you prepare the lemons, like I did this 15 days ago, right? So the first day where you peel the lemons and then you put them in the liquor, then you put it in a dark and dry place, like I put them down in my basement for 15 days. On the 15th day, not the 14, not the 16, you mix it, which is what we'll do now. Why is that? Because the peel can get bitter and bitter your liquor. So the other trick to this recipe is that you want to go very lightly when you peel your lemon. You do not want any white. You see how I don't have any of the lemon white? It stays behind. The white, I don't know what it's called, between the white part here that it stays in the lemon, huh? Right, of the grind. That, huh?
Yes.
Okay, you don't want any of the white part in your zest, because that white part would make your lemon bitter, and that's not what you want. So you put the zest of 10 lemons in the liquor. You let it soak for 15 days, and here's where we are on the 15 days. Okay, so that was the first tip. On the 15th day, of course, you are going to separate the liquid. Where should I do it?
Here.
Yeah, I need that, but I was gonna, I'll take this. Okay, you're going to separate. Yeah, can you hold this? So that, okay. So then you're going to take the liquid out. You see now how it's pretty and yellow. There you go. There you go. You want to put that in there. Okay. And then I am going to put 1 liter. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. So on the 15th day, what do? You make simple syrup, right? You take 800, I gave you the recipe, the water and the sugar, you mix it together, and then you boil it and you make simple syrup. And of course you let it cool, it can't be warm, right? So then you take 1 liter of that. I think I also gave it to you in cups, but you can take 1 liter of the simple syrup. Remember, you'll always have some simple syrup left over because your the sugar makes, of course, more volume. And you simply mix it to the grain alcohol. Okay. We have a nice, okay. And this is your liquid gold, right? So you see how it's yellow. What I do is, can you go downstairs and grab me some of those cute little bottles that I have? I forgot that what I put it in. What I do is I put it in little bottles, and to give them as gift, you can do that, or you can just drink it like that for yourself, put it in big bottles. Remember though, that your limoncello has to be in the freezer, you know, because it has to be served very, very cold. It will not freeze, obviously. Yeah.
And you serve it in frozen shot glasses.
And there you go. Leah, you want to hold it up? This is limoncello that I made before. I just put it in big bottles to put it in the freezer. And you have just a little bit, you see. What you want to do with your limoncello is sip it. You don't shoot limoncello. That would be a big mistake. You just sip it a little bit at a time, because it's a liquor that is digestive. So we usually eat it, we usually have it after dinner. Some restaurants actually in Italy, when you go out for dinner, they'll just give you a shot of limoncello for free. It comes with the dinner because it helps you digest with the lemon. So what I usually do, okay, so this is the shot. What I usually do is find cute little bottles that, look at this cute one, right? With the Eiffel Tower, or little ones like that. Or you can buy cute little bottles at Michael's, Joanne Fabric, online, obviously for really very cheap. And then I just fill them up and give them as presents whenever you want, right? So where is that? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the ladle.
Well, yeah, the ladle, it's okay. What you want to do is obviously take a ladle and put your limoncello there, and you will come out really nice, and you're done. And don't forget to keep it in the freezer. Okay, we're done. So I'm sorry you can't taste it like we did at last year in the kitchen, in the Castle kitchen. We can do this again once we open up, but are there any questions right now?
Yes, Gabriella, where do you find the Everclear?
So the 151 proof, you can buy it at, can you wanna go downstairs and get me the bottle? You can find it at liquor stores.
Okay.
So I didn't find it at Myers, but you do find it at in liquor stores.
But when I was growing up, we didn't have it in Michigan, so my parents would drive down to like Kentucky or something to get it. Ohio, closer.
That's
Thank
across
you.
the border. It was illegal in Michigan,
Yeah.
so we just would take a day and go down to Ohio and buy it, and I think even Indiana, but we would just cross the border and it would be there. But here's how it looks. It's kind of like murky, opaque, right? A little thick and very good. Here's the Everclear that I buy, which you'll find everywhere. And it says here 151. So
Thank you.
Michigan only sells up to 151. You can buy the 190. Some people make limoncello with 190. By the way, some people make limoncello with vodka, but again, doesn't taste as good. I don't think. There too, Everclear doesn't have any flavor, while vodka has a little bit of flavor. So if you make it with vodka, it's gonna be like, you know. Sometimes I also make it with tangerines. Organic tangerines. It's the same process, and it will come out a little orangey, and it's good. But And it's called, thank you, Leah, it's called mandarinetto, but I always prefer lemon. To me, it's limoncello. It's very good with lemon. Okay. Everclear Myers. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Christine. I couldn't find it. Can we send Grubhub to your house for a pickup? Yes. Well, what we thought would be like, we have drones. Okay. We've got drones and they're going to drop off the food to your house. How's that? Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, Leah, they're saying.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So any other questions? I know we're done a little earlier. Maybe I rushed too much, but I was afraid not to fit in everything. So.
Gabriella, what's a traditional meal that you have at holiday time? You know, do you have certain traditions you do, or do you do a mix of things?
We used to do the French fish,
The bouillabaisse.
bouillabaisse. on Christmas.
I always do, because coming from the north, we are about an hour from France and an hour from Switzerland. So we did pretty, northern Italian type of dishes. So we make the bouillabaisse, which is this fish stew. Some Italians call it 7 fish stew, and it's just like a bunch of fish that you stew in fish broth with fennels, onions. I can send you my recipe. It's very good, but this is what we do. Sometimes I do filet mignon. In Italy, we do certainly meat, pasta. Pasta is always right.
That's a primo.
That's a primo. Yeah, that's what we used to do. And tiramisu for dessert for sure, or some kind of crostata, gnocchi. True. So this is what we do.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions? Should I check the chat? Don't be afraid of asking if you have any questions. As you saw, it's pretty easy, very simple methods out of the kitchen. We chose something easy specifically for that, and so also that I wouldn't make mistakes.
Yeah, and you can do risotto with a whole bunch of different things too, like just Parmesan risotto or lemon risotto.
Yes. This is our favorite, but you can do risotto with just about anything, including what you said, truffle. Another one is a very Italian dish with risotto is saffron, which is that yellow spice. It's very good. Orangey. It comes yellow.
Okay, we'll settle on orange.
Okay, any other questions? No, we're all good, Sue?
Gabriella, this has been fabulous. I think we've all learned a lot. I just found it sort of humorous that most of the questions came regarding the limoncello, though.
It smells so good. Your whole house is gonna smell like, do it on a special day, because the whole house is gonna smell so, lemony and fresh and citrusy. So it's really a good thing to do during the holidays. And the other thing is that then, of course you have like those lemons, right? So you can do whatever you want. Sometimes I just, what do you say when you mix it? Sorry, Mara. You squeeze them? Yeah, you squeeze them. Yeah, you juice them. When you squeeze them, then you can freeze the juice for later on, or you can keep them and put them in your water, whatever. But you're only using the peel. So
or you can preserve your lemons.
Yeah, you can.
How long does the limoncello last for?
100 years.
Forever.
Okay.
So such high alcohol content.
So I mean, it's like exactly. It's just like I keep one bottle in the freezer, and then we get it out when we want to drink, and then the rest is downstairs, in sort of like where you would keep your other liquor. And the ones that you're drinking obviously has to be straight out of the freezer, because it's really nice when it's cold. It really doesn't taste the same when you.
Yeah, but you can also use it to remove your nail polish.
I've had the opportunity to taste it, and it really warms you inside. It's very yummy.
Yes, you do. That's right. I brought it at work, but shh.
We don't talk about that day. So.
No. Any other questions? Use some of your lemons for, yes, Christine. Use some of your
Lemon
lemons for
bread.
lemon cure bread.
Chia.
Chia, perfect. Then you can send us the recipe, Christine. I don't have it. Yeah, it sounds yummy. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Christine. Okay, well, if there aren't any other questions, we're gonna let you go.
This has been great. Gabrielle and Leah, thank you so much. It means a lot to our staff to have both of you participating in this and letting us join into your family traditions. And I'm hoping Greg will eat well today and
He's eating, he's eating, he's eating.
good.
He's very happy.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
Oh, hi, Mike. You're welcome. I miss all of you, seeing you in the building, in the elevator, in the stairs, in and out of the restroom. So I hope you're all well. Happy holidays. Make this meal. It's very easy, as you saw. Basically, in about an hour and a half, you can do the whole thing. Okay?
Yay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you all for coming today.
Hey, I don't know if you saw our apron, right? Because we bought it for that.
Oh, so cute.
How do you say cheers in Italian?
Salute.
Salute.
Okay.
Yeah, chin chin when you cheer somebody else's glass, and if not, you say salute.
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 Nice.
Ciao.
All right.
Ciao. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Thank you. The
everyone.
risotto was delicious.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.